it's Elisa, half Asian Tarot Queen, reminding you that this month's free giveaway is my beloved Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, which is being featured in every reading in April, because at the end of April, I'm going to draw a name out of the hat, and whoever gets drawn is going to win the Oracle. So all you have to do to subscribe is to just, all you have to do to enter is subscribe. Just click the subscribe button at the end of the video. It's at the end. I guess I'll remind you again at the end. Yeah, it's like 4 a.m. The energies, I feel like, are pretty intense. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get up and I'm going to do a reading. So, I'm going to pull a couple from Mystical Shaman. Okay, I got like a couple extra, but it's interesting because they're all weather related. And I'm going to pull also one from Spirit Animal Oracle. Yeah, it's interesting, like, so if you've been following the channel, you would know that sometimes, or I have a number of threads on the channel that relate to different storylines. So there's like a different storyline about like some like Don Juan player guy that's been coming up a lot, and there's like this epic love story, and there's this dynasty thread, and there's a number of different storylines that kind of recur on the channel. And one of the storylines is about my vegan cheese empire and the concomitant drama with that sort of endeavor. And I think that might be one of the things that's been keeping me up. At least it's like I'm at a big sort of decision point with it. And so I'm gonna kind of focus in on that storyline, and hopefully this can help someone out there, because I think we're all kind of going through this right now with the coronavirus, and you know, it's sparking a big change. But so for the Animal Oracle, this is interesting. So they're very related, actually. So we got the Scarab Beetle Spirit, which is magic works through you, and the Koala Spirit, which is Spirit has a plan. So yeah, it's like overwhelming sometimes when the circumstances around you kind of interfere, and you're kind of like thrown for a loop, and you just have to react and respond. And sometimes, you know, in the course of like, you know, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans, you know, and it's just like, you know, sometimes you have to abandon whatever you thought was the plan. And this is like, I think, an encouragement that, you know what, there's a larger plan here, so don't worry about it. Which is cool. Okay, one sec. Okay, so this is interesting because what the animal spirits are speaking to, sort of trusting that there's a divine plan, you know, forces that are larger than you that are at work, you know. And so the Mystical Shaman, all 4 of the cards, I pulled 4 of them, and they all have to do with the weather, which, you know, also speaks to, you know, kind of having reverence for the circumstances around you, you know, because it's like beyond your control, you know, and so you kind of have to work with them, you know. So we've got the wind, the rainmaker, the sun, and thunder. Okay, so the wind is just like speaking to, you know, a change that's happening. It's, you know, it's like, the wind's blowing in, and, you know, the times they are a changing, like, and so depending on, which way the wind is blowing, it signifies, different things. And actually, maybe I'll just read you about the different directions of the wind from the book, because that might be insightful. But okay, yeah, so from the south, a new sense of trust helping you to gently discard habits and parts of you that are no longer needed. From the west, calling you for more introspection, to a willingness to make final decisions and let go of attachment and ego desires. From the north, moving to bring you wisdom and strength. And from the east, carrying clarity of vision and purpose. So things are changing, and you know, our perspectives are going to have to change, and we're going to have to adapt to what's going on, you know. So then the next card we have is the Rainmaker, which this is totally a card of co-creation, and it's like reminding you that, like, if your intentions are in alignment with the greatest, highest good, like, you're gonna co-create with the universe. If your intentions are lined up with your ego, then you might crash and burn. You know, I mean, that's kind of how it works, you know. So it's like when circumstances are beyond your control, you know, it's like we have to kind of let go and let God, you know. I mean, we have to have good intentions and put them out there, you know, but then trust that things are going to work out how they're meant to, you know. And I think this is very wise, especially for this moment in time, because we're all being impacted in ways that are so beyond what we can control, and you know, we're all having to do this. The next card we have is the Sun, you know, and so this is a card that's reminding you to, like, not withdraw and recoil, you know, because you're overwhelmed, or, you know, you're fearful of the change. You know, the Sun is reminding you to go out and engage the world, you know, like, we're co-creating with the universe, and there is a plan, you know, even if it might not seem like it. So don't withdraw. You know, I feel like this is a super big message for me right now, because, you know, like, I've talked about this before, but my true calling in life is that I'm supposed to be a vegan cheesemaker. And for 10 years, I ran this vegan cheese company, and it did really well. I mean, we were selling cheese all over the country, and, you know, attracted attention globally, but, you know, and I can't really speak to what happened to it, but it was just like a super unjust thing. And it didn't have anything to do with my product or me or anything. And the cheese company went down. And so, like, I think it's, being that it was like an unjust situation, you know, it's just like my tendency to just sort of like withdraw and just be like, I don't want to engage anymore. Like, I I I I have like an instinct where I just want to sort of like make cheese for myself, and like just not engage the world anymore, because it's like not worth it for all this drama, you know. But this card is like, no. You need to go out and engage the world and not, like, recoil in fear, because, like, that's not helping, you know. And then the last card we have is Thunder, which is like, this is speaking to some, you know, buildup of tension that's about to be released, and some dramatic thing is about to happen that's going to change life as you know it, you know. So, yeah, I think this can speak to a lot of things, like beyond work, or, you know, it also can speak to personal situations. You know, we're all kind of like cooped up in our homes with our families, and some, you know, situations that, like, maybe aren't working out, or, you know, things are about to change. So it's just like, make sure you're in alignment with the highest good and not with your ego, because I think people who are in alignment with their ego, maybe don't have the best intentions, are about to go down. Like, that's happening. So, but you know, change is inevitable. So, here we go. Okay, I'm going to pull three cards from the Ethereal Visions to get some general. This deck, it's kind of new, but I really love it. And get some general energy. So, okay, there's one for the reading, but it definitely seems like there's a lot of energy going down, like, you know, things are about to change. I don't know what's going to happen, but it definitely feels like a shift is in the works. Okay, so we've got a Page of Wands on the bottom, so that's a new spark. You know, it's a new way of looking at things. And we have the King of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, and we have the Fool. So this is interesting, because the King of Swords is like, this can be like a harsh truth coming down the pipe, you know. I mean, things are about to change, and like, maybe not in the way that we were thinking, you know, but I mean, the good thing about this is it, like, kind of cuts the slop out of the system, and you get like absolute clarity about how things are gonna go moving forward, you know. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles, which this is a swing and singles card, and this is like, I did it my way, and like, you know, but you're independent, you know, like, you did it your way, but you're like financially viable, and like, you're good, you know. But this is like what happens like right before the Dynasty card, so it's just like sort of you're setting up a foundation for something real solid, you know, because you've kind of figured out your own demons and your own stuff, and you're like good, you know. And then we have the Fool, which is like taking a leap of faith into the unknown, you know. So it's just like something is about to go down, and some big change is about to happen, but you're gonna be all right, you know. It's like we're cutting some slop out of the system, but you're in a good place, you know. And it's like interesting. It's like I feel that, you know, like, if I'm like likening it to my vegan cheese empire story, it's sort of like, I just make cheese, right? Like, I just want to make cheese. Like, I don't want to deal with all the other drama that comes along with it, you know. It's just like, when you do something and you do it well, you know, like, it's like everyone wants a piece of the action, you know, but it's just like, sometimes it's like good when things like crash and burn, because it's just sort of like, when you're doing well, you know, like, everyone wants a piece of the action, but like, when you're totally crashed and burned and cut all the slop down to like ground zero, like, that's when you figure out what people's real intentions are, because it's just like, when there's no money, like, it's really clarifying, you know, because you figure out like why people are around, you know, because there's not like a clouded judgment that way or whatever, you know. But anyways, as far as my thing goes, like, I'm just sort of like, I need to like get back to just making cheese, you know. Like, that's what I do. Like, I make cheese, you know, and I don't need to like get embroiled in all this other nonsense that doesn't really have anything to do with making cheese, you know, because that's not what it's about, you know. And really my gift is making cheese, you know. And so I got to get back to that, you know. And I've got something unique to offer the world, and that's what I need to focus on, and not all the nonsense that came along. Okay. So I got, oh, actually maybe I'll pull 3 more cards, because I'm pulling 6 cards of general energies to get some more clarity about what's going on. Okay. Alright, so at the bottom we have the Knight of Coins. So this is actually good, because it's like, this is like moving in a solid direction. Like the Knight of Coins like lays down, he's kind of like, he's like moving, you know, like the other knights. But like all the other knights are like kind of like fly by night. But this knight, he moves kind of slow, but like he builds a solid foundation that's like built to last. So that's cool, you know. It's just like, don't get in over your britches, like keep it simple, you know. I just make cheese, you know. Okay, so we got the Wheel of Fortune, the Queen of Wands, and we've got the Knave of Coins. So this is a Page of Coins. So this is interesting, because so the Wheel of Fortune comes right up under this King of Swords. So there's like some harsh truth that's coming in, and it's shaking things up, you know, like everything's changing, you know. And then we have the Queen of Wands, you know, which this can sometimes signify like the other woman, but it's also like a woman who's like a manifester, you know, in her power. Like she can take her emotions and manifest them into the 3-dimensional world. And it's interesting because that comes out right under this 9 of Pentacles. So it's just like, there's this shakeup that's happening, you know, and it's like, there's this Queen of Wands, and you know, it's like she doesn't need anything, because she can like manifest, you know. She's got the tools, like she can make stuff happen, you know. So it's just sort of like, things might shake up and like get cut down to like bare bones, but at the end of the day, like she's got the power to like create. Like she can turn like nothing into something, you know. So it's just like stripping it down to the like basics, you know. Like, I just make cheese, you know, and like forget about the rest, you know. And then we've got the Knave of Coins, you know. So like, this is like a tangible start, you know, taking a step into the unknown and making a tangible start, you know, and like figuring out like foundationally, like, okay, like I can go forward in this way, and it's maybe not going to be the fastest way, you know, or this is maybe not going to be the fastest way, but like it's going to be stable, you know. And so yeah, we got the 5 of Swords, which is under this like harsh truth that's being revealed. So there's like, you know, there's going to be winners and losers, and like, you know, it's a harsh truth, you know. Not everyone's going to benefit, you know. So it's just sort of like, it's like the coronavirus, you know, like there's a lot of harsh truths going around, like, you know, but this is like kind of what it sometimes takes that to like inspire like a great change, you know. And then we have the 7 of Swords, you know, which is this card of deception. So, you know, that it can be deceiving yourself, but in this context, I'm getting like, you know, there's this woman, you know, she has the power to manifest, but there's like this deception around her, you know, and like, I'm liking to my vegan cheese empire story, because it's just like, yeah, like I had like all these really good intentions and I worked my butt off, and like in the end, like I ended up attracting all this deceptive energy, because it's just like people like maybe saw potential in what I was doing, and then like, you know, like want to harness it and like have some agenda, you know, other than what I had in mind, you know. And so it's just like cutting all that away and getting it back down to the basics, you know, is like actually a good thing, you know. And so it's just sort of like distilling it down to just like the basics, like just let all that go and start again, you know, with this like just the basics and like your pure intention, you know, and see where that goes, you know. Like, this is what I'm feeling with my vegan cheese empire. Okay, I'm gonna pull 3 more cards of guidance for how we might move through this energy. But yeah, it can be harsh sometimes, because it's just like, you know, it's like we all have to like move through injustice and like take that energy and turn it into something else, you know. Like, you don't want that to be the final word. Okay, so we got the Queen of Cups, the Lovers, and the Ace of Swords. So this is interesting, because the Queen of Cups is like this loving, nurturing queen, and she like comes from the heart, you know. And it's interesting because it's like she falls on top of this harsh truth and like something being shook up, you know, and like this 5 of Swords, you know, this like loss and like all this stuff being cut away. And so it's just like, I feel like this is kind of like the whole thing about what I was saying about don't recoil in fear. Like, you still want to engage the world, like you still want to have an open heart, you know, because, you know, just because like things didn't work out the last go round, you know, don't close yourself off to possibility. And even though all this happened, you know, like we're cutting all that away, and we got to leave that in the past, and you got to like go forward with an open heart, you know. And then we have the Lovers, you know, which this is a card of like soulmate connection, you know. So it's just like you've got this swinging single person, this Queen of Wands, you know. But it's interesting because it's just like there was all this like deception around, but it's like it's almost like that's being cut away, but it's just sort of like keep an open heart, because there's actually something coming online that's gonna be good, you know. So don't push this away because of what happened in the past, because this is gonna be a good opportunity, you know. And I feel like this is a good thing for me to remember, because it is my instinct. Like, I was like so just stripped down, and I felt like I had just like worked so hard and put so much into this, and like all I got for it was just to like be put down, you know. And so it is my instinct. Like, I just want to like go make cheese in a cave and like not deal with any of this, you know. But like, I think a lot of people saw what happened, you know. And so like now there are people that are reaching out and like trying to help, but like I'm so like turned off by engaging, you know, that like I'm almost like not, I'm like turning away the good stuff, you know. And I am like, I gotta keep things in perspective, because it's hard to stay open, you know, after after really bad stuff happens, you know. But this is like, you know, that's the other thing about coronavirus. It's like taking time to heal this stuff so that we can go forward with an open heart, you know, because there's people out there that can balance out, you know, what you need to like make this happen, you know. And so then under this, going forward, taking some baby steps, but have an open heart, you know, and move forward in your truth, you know. And like, yeah, like with my vegan cheese thing, it's just like I was doing it a different way than everyone else, and I was doing it because of the health reason. And so I've been like totally, you know, like sticking to my guns about the health thing, and this has caused all these problems for me, you know. And like, but at the end of the day, like, that's why I'm doing it, you know. And so it's like I gotta stick to my guns, and I gotta like have faith that the universe has a plan, because there's a reason why I'm doing this, and I've come this far, so I can't like give up on the mission now, you know. Gotta stay true. Okay, I'm gonna pull from Crystal Wisdom Healing Oracle. Maybe figure out what crystal might be able to help me through this moment. Hopefully this will help you too. So we're all working through this with the coronavirus. Okay. Let's see. All right, we got halite. That's what it looks like. So I'm going to read you from the book because I feel like... All right. It's the Master Cleanser. Halite draws out impurities from your physical, energetic, and soul bodies. It dissolves old patterns, negative thoughts, and toxic emotions, promoting emotional well-being. Halite stimulates the meridians and grounds the healing properties of other crystals. So it leads to self-understanding. Subtle ties and influences may be affecting you more than you recognize. Unacknowledged feelings of abandonment or rejection or emotional neediness may underlie disease. Detrimental energies picked up under the influence of drink or drugs may be affecting you, as could someone else's hurtful or jealous feelings. But being spaced out and ungrounded also leaves you open to invasion by external forces. That's really good, you know, because sometimes, like, when people get hurt, you know, they deal with it by, like, boozing it up, you know, but that just, like, opens you up to more because you're just, like, totally spaced out and, like, not fully engaging. You're being unconscious, you know. Healing insight. Regular detoxification and purification at all levels ensures well-being, and as does being anchored on earth. So this is an earthy frequency from the base sacral, earth star, and solar plexus chakras. Its timing is spring, which is where we are, and the soul path is purification and spiritual discernment. So yeah, this might be a good stone to resonate with right now. But we'll check back soon, and good luck.